This is the 2025 Honda HR-V LX. It offers a lot of features for the price. Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm at Holmes Honda to fulfill a very common request a lot of you ask, which is to review lower trim levels. Well, you can't get any lower than the base trim level with the HR-V. That's what this LX model is. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video to the Holmes Honda website. Let's see what we have here. LED lighting here on the front end, LED headlights, LED daytime running lights. We're also going to have LED tail lights out back. A very nice look, tastefully done with the overall design. We have the active air curtains right here. I don't know if you can see the daylight coming through there, but it is there. And I'll come back around to the rear and show you this is where the air comes through, just in case anybody was wondering. And what about your safety features? Even being the base trim level, you're going to have Honda sensing. That includes adaptive cruise control, collision mitigation braking, road departure mitigation, lane keeping assist, and traffic jam assist. And this particular model is front wheel drive. Take a look at our tires here. Tire and wheel setup, we're looking at 215 on the width, a 60 series sidewall wrapped around the 17-inch wheels, and you do have a spare tire. Here on this base LX trim level, you won't find turn signal indicators built into the side view mirrors. They are manually folding. I'll show you how to do that. And they are power adjustable. And how about the remote as far as this model goes? We'll take a quick look at that. Taking advantage of the sunshine today, there you go. You can see everything you have. Now, you don't have remote start, but keep in mind, the price point of this model is not very high considering what a lot of vehicles cost in this day and age. And here we come around to the rear, our LED tail lights, got your shark fin antenna up there, the rear roof spoiler. When you need it, there is your rear window wiper. Here under the hood is the naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder. It makes 158 horsepower and 138 pounds-feet of torque. It's mated to a CVT. And we'll walk over here to the window sticker. I'll show you the MPGs. We're looking at 26 city, 32 highway, 28 combined, and 3.6 gallons of gas for every 100 miles driven. And when it comes to the gas tank size, if you're curious to know about that, this is a 14-gallon gas tank. And you will find a manually opening tailgate. However, once you open it just a little bit, as you can see right there, the dampening takes over and it finishes the job for you. We're looking at 24.4 to 55.1 cubic feet of cargo space. There's how everything looks when you fold the rear seat backs down. And we have cargo lighting on both sides. Also a 12-volt power outlet right here. That's going to help out, and a little bit of storage underneath, or I should say behind the fender wells. And here is something that is very important to a lot of people, a spare tire. If you're curious, the exterior color is platinum white pearl, and it has a black interior. Plenty of space with the armrest for a compact crossover. We'll also find the bottle holders right here. And a couple of common questions I received. Number one, do the rear seat backs recline? They have a little bit of recline built into them, but they don't actually change position where you can recline them more than they already are. And the one thing, another question I'm asked sometimes, does this generation of the HR-V have the magic rear seats? No, it doesn't. That's one thing I wish Honda had left here. And for those of you who wonder what that is, the seat cushions used to fold up where you could get them out of the way and make more cargo space. But there is a lot of space back here for your rear seat passengers. In fact, quite a bit of space, a little surprising space. I'd say a surprising amount of space. There is what we have for headspace for me at 5'10". Got your reading lights right there and a little bit of storage right here. Now, we don't have any connectivity or any air conditioning vents back here. That's not going to be a big deal as far as the lack of the air conditioning vents because it's not a large interior. So that will not be an issue unless you're driving through the Mojave Desert in the middle of the summer, in the middle of the day. We do have a rear seat pocket back here, however, for storage. And if the driver wants to drop the hammer on 158 horsepower, there are oh crap handles at the rear doors. And what about the sticker price? $27,205. And I wanted to show you something here that I like. You have the small pass-through right here, a little bit of extra storage down there, and there is a USB port on each side. So it's possible to maybe get a long enough adapter that would run to the back seat and maybe give your rear seat passengers the ability to have USB connectivity. The driver and the passenger seats here are both manually adjustable, and the difference between the two is that the passenger seat does not raise and lower in height. The driver's seat does, a little more adjustability built into that. And we're going to have our controls right here for our power side view mirrors, power locks. You can lock or unlock all 4 windows. And you'll notice that you have a driver's side window that is going to be 1 touch down, 1 touch up, but the rest will be buttons you need to hold down for the windows to go down and come back up. Not really a big deal. Right here, the lever, you drop that and you can adjust the positioning of the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. And we'll find our steering wheel mounted controls here. Everything for your adaptive cruise control over here. You can control the volume and the stations you're listening to there, as well as use voice commands. And then with the home button right here over on the left-hand side, when I hit that home button, here's what happens. We get a couple of different things. We can go into vehicle settings, and I'm just going to push the scroll wheel right here, and that allows me to go in and make a few changes. So you can see what's there as far as that goes. You can calibrate your TPMS sensor or your tire pressure monitoring system or sensor, which is a good thing. If you reset or refill your tires with air because the air has changed, depending on the atmospheric conditions, you can go in and use that TPMS reset to get rid of the indicator that can show up here on your instrument cluster. And there are quite a few other settings here beyond that, so I'll show you a few things that are here. We won't go in and look at every single one, but I am going to show you what's here, just so you know. So quite a few things for different information and things like that. Very easy to deal with. Also, we have our digital and analog speedometer there. Pretty easy to figure out what's going on. Right here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, we're going to have the turn signal indicator control or lever. Some of you know what that means and some of you don't, but I know you know what this is for. That's how you turn your headlights on and off, or you can just set them to auto. It's kind of that set it and forget it kind of thing. The control right here for your rear window wiper and your windshield wipers, easy to deal with as well. Push button start. And this is the 7-inch touchscreen. Now that flickering effect you see is purely due to my camera. You see that on a lot of videos here on YouTube, but I don't know that everybody explains that it's not really happening. Well, it's not really happening in case you were curious. But you do have the 7-inch touchscreen here. Everything is very easy to deal with as far as that goes. You can go in and make a lot of different changes depending on what you want to do or what you need to do. And we'll go in and see a couple of little features and functionality here. You might have noticed nothing was happening when I was pushing the buttons, and I wish I had shown you how I fixed that. But if you ever have that problem, you just hold down the power button right here that you use to turn the radio on and off. You'll hear a beep, and then up come the other screens and the information that you're looking for here. But it's really a pretty simplistic system. So if you're looking for the least amount of technology, well, this is a good thing to have. You can go in here and change all of your settings. As you can see, you can pair your smartphone here. Easy to deal with. You do have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, but you will need to tether your phone to use those, which means using a USB cable. And you will find the multi-view rear view camera. 3 different views. Again, I apologize for that flickering, just part of using these cameras. They don't really like some of the lighting, so that's just the way it goes. But controls here for volume on this side and changing your stations right there. So you'll also find single zone climate control here. Think trim level, think price. Shouldn't be a big surprise. We also don't have heated seats, but I think we can, at least if you live down here in the South, live without heated seats because we don't use them very often, that's for sure. Now this winter might be terrible and I might be proven wrong. There is another USB option, a little bit of space right there for storage, your cup holders, the conventional shifter right here, and I'm going to pull this back just a little bit because I want to show you something. In fact, I'll go ahead and just pull that off, not going to hurt anything. If you're wondering what that L is for right there, that means low. So you can go into low gear. If you're in a low traction situation, you still have 100% of the horsepower and torque available from the engine. That S is going to let you go into sport mode, and obviously D, you know what that is. And then we have our other driving modes. Yes, there are multiple driving modes here. Let's go see what they are. I will scroll through those. So we'll start off in normal. We'll go to Econ. And then we also have snow mode. Now, if you're curious, one thing I would like to see, if you want to stay in the same mode, I wish it would just stay there. But when you turn the engine off and back on, or the ignition, it's going to default back to normal. Just something to be aware of. Hill start assist right there, your power parking brake and brake hold mode. And while you have a lid for the center console here that can be used for an armrest, I wish it was a little bit higher maybe, but that's just what we have here. There is a reasonable amount of space within. And if you would like to see what we have with the upper console, there is what we have. And we'll get out on the road for a quick test drive, and I apologize that I had to put you in the windshield, but no sunroof. You might have noticed I didn't say anything about a sunroof earlier, and that's why. Overall, the seats themselves are comfortable. The one thing I do wish was here that isn't is the ability to change the angle of the seat cushion on the driver's seat. It seems a little flat to me, but that's one of those things where you really need to hop into the vehicle for yourself if you're planning to buy one and test drive it and see what you think about it. So there is a lot here that definitely makes it a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. A comfortable ride quality. It has a nice tight turning radius. So if you live in an area with tight spaces, maybe a large city that's very congested, highly congested, well, you might find that the HR-V works really well for you there because it's very nimble, very agile, gets around very easily. The nice tight turning radius helps out as long as this is a vehicle that is large enough to suit your needs. And overall, I do like the fact that the driver's seat does offer the adjustability that it does. While it's manually adjustable as opposed to power adjustable, I still have a lot of space above my head in the driver's seat, which means there's a lot of room left for somebody who is taller than I am. I'm 5'10", and so somebody who is over 6 feet tall can definitely do okay here. In fact, somebody might be able to tell us down in the comments who owns an HR-V of this particular generation how you fit and how comfortable you are. I'd be curious to know. But with the tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel and the adjustability, let's get that word out, built into the driver's seat, it really shouldn't be a problem no matter what the situation is, as long as you're not maybe 7 feet tall. That would be interesting. You'd have to push the seat all the way to the back seat, just about to fit. But I don't think anybody that tall is going to be driving one of these. The other thing that is so nice here, for those who maybe are stepping into a vehicle for the first time that has a reasonable amount of technology compared to what vehicles used to have, this is a good place to start because it's not an overwhelming amount of technology. And even if you have a 9-inch touchscreen from Honda compared to this 7-inch, that's still not difficult to learn or use. But the 7-inch is definitely more of a minimalistic setup, I would say, compared to what you'll have with the 9-inch. But both are easy to work with and deal with. Easy to see out of. I like that. That's always a good thing. Obviously, it would be nice to have blind spot monitoring. You step up to the sport trim level and you will, so you don't have to worry about that. The other two trim levels, Sport and EXL, obviously offer more, but the price is going to be higher, but not a ridiculous amount higher. But for those who are maybe price conscious and just don't want to spend a lot of money on a vehicle or whatever the situation is, this is a really good option with a lot of nice features. The steering wheel feels pretty comfortable to me. Now, it's not leather wrapped, but still seems to be comfortable to where I think you would be okay on a nice long road trip. And overall, the interior is roomy for the driver and the passengers. But as I showed you earlier in the video, if you're that person that's fairly tall, might want to call shotgun. That's probably going to be a much better situation for you where that is concerned. But overall, a very enjoyable vehicle to drive. If you don't like turbocharged engines, you don't have to deal with turbo lag here because you don't have a turbocharger. The gas pedal and the brake pedal are both easy to manage. You don't have any issues of having to get used to an overly aggressive braking system or anything like that. Tell me how important those types of things are to you. What are the top things, let's say the top 3 things you look for when it comes to driving a new vehicle you're considering buying? And those are the highlights of the 2025 Honda HR-V LX. Tell me what you think. Do you get enough for the sticker price? There's definitely a lot of features here, but it isn't enough. I'm always curious to receive your feedback on these vehicles. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends at Holmes Honda for loaning me this HR-V for the day, and a special thanks to each and every one of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. Make sure to subscribe. That way you don't miss any future videos. Please be sure to share this video on your timeline so others can see it. And if you want to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.